Two people are hiding from a wedding. Not their wedding. Someone else's. The music is playing in the next room, the toasts are happening without them, and two strangers have quietly slipped away from the celebration to sit somewhere quiet and just talk. And in that empty room away from the party everyone else is desperate to be part of, Ted Mosby meets a woman named Victoria. And here's the thing nobody tells you about that scene. That is the single healthiest, most genuine connection Ted Mosby makes in the entire series. Before Robin, before the wrong turns, before 9 more years of heartbreak. Right there. In Season 1, hiding from a wedding, Ted meets a woman who is warm, honest, funny, and completely unguardedly into him. And he throws her away.
Yeah, I should tell you, I have a rule. I never hook up at weddings.
I'm guessing you haven't always had this rule.
Well, here's the thing. Those big romantic moments, they're great when they happen, but they're not real.
Everybody who watches How I Met Your Mother argues about the same thing. Should Ted have ended up with Robin? Was the finale a betrayal? Was Robin the one? But I think we've all been arguing about the wrong woman. Because I noticed something on my last rewatch that I genuinely can't let go of. Ted's biggest mistake was never Robin. Robin was the obsession. Robin was the symptom. The real mistake, the one that tells you everything broken about how Ted loved people, was a baker named Victoria, the one good, simple, real thing he had. And the way he lost her isn't a love story. It's a warning. This is the one Ted threw away. Let me show you who Victoria actually was, because the show makes it almost too easy to forget her.
There's something I have to tell you. I've thought about this a ton, and I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but I'm not in love with Robin. But she's like family to me, and I can't end that. So, can you accept that?
I really hope you get her someday.
Victoria is a pastry chef. She makes things. With her hands every day, she takes simple ingredients and turns them into something sweet and warm that makes people happy. And I want you to hold on to that detail because it's the whole key to her character. Victoria is a builder. She's someone who creates real, tangible good in the world and finds joy in it. And watch how she is with Ted. There's no game, no mystery, no emotional withholding. She likes him. She tells him she likes him. She shows up. She's present. For once in his life, Ted is with someone who is actually available. Emotionally, completely, right there in front of him. And it terrifies him, though he'd never admit it. Because here's the pattern with Ted Mosby that the show spends 9 years quietly documenting. Ted does not want love. Ted wants the chase. He wants the grand romantic narrative, the signs, the fate, the woman just out of reach who he has to win. And Victoria? Victoria isn't a chase. She's already his. There's nothing to win. And for a man addicted to the pursuit, a sure thing feels strangely like nothing at all.
Why would you break up?
We broke up because of you.
There's a name for what Ted does to Victoria. Psychologists sometimes call it the grass is greener mindset, or idealization. It's when a person becomes so fixated on an imagined better option somewhere else that they can't actually see the real good thing they already have. The fantasy always wins, because the fantasy is perfect. It never has to do the dishes. It never has a bad day. It exists only in your head, where it can stay flawless forever. And the real person standing in front of you offering you something true, they never stand a chance against a ghost. For Ted, the ghost was Robin. So watch what happens. Victoria gets the opportunity of her life. A fellowship to study pastry in Germany. A real dream. The kind of thing a builder like her should chase. And they try long distance. And here's the moment that defines Ted Mosby as a romantic partner more than almost any other in the series.
Well, I'm glad we got to spend the day doing awesome air kicks.
Yeah. I was almost too tired for all the sex.
I'm gonna miss you so much.
I'm gonna miss you too.
While he's on the phone with Victoria, this woman who trusted him, who crossed an ocean still believing in him, Ted is already turning toward Robin. And instead of being honest, instead of saying, I'm not over someone else, this isn't fair to you, he lies. He keeps her on the hook while he chases the ghost. He lets Victoria believe in something he's already abandoning. He didn't lose Victoria, he betrayed her. There's a difference. And the show, because it's told entirely from Ted's point of view, lets him off easy for it. Future Ted narrates it like a stumble, a youthful mistake. But strip away the narration and look at what actually happened. A kind, honest woman gave Ted everything, and he quietly cheated on the truth because a fantasy across town felt more exciting than the real thing across the ocean. Now here's where Victoria's story becomes something more than just the girl Ted wronged in Season 1. Because the show does something rare. It brings her back, years later, and it gives us a second look at exactly who this woman is and exactly who Ted still is.
After we broke up, how long were you single before you and Klaus started dating?
Oh, how long? Well, we broke up in April, so day and a half.
When Victoria comes back, she's the same person. Still warm, still honest, still a builder. And she and Ted fall back into each other because the connection was always real. But this time, Victoria does something that almost no one else in Ted's life ever has the clarity to do. She tells him the truth about himself. And here's the setup, because it matters. When Victoria returns, she's engaged to another man, Klaus. She's about to get married. And on the day of that wedding, Victoria does something that should tell you everything about her character. She runs. She walks out of her own wedding in the dress because she knows in her gut that she's about to marry the wrong person for the wrong reasons. Think about how much courage that takes. Most people walk down the aisle anyway. Most people settle because the wedding's already paid for and everyone's already there. Victoria looks at a life that isn't right for her and she refuses it. Remember how we met her? Hiding from a wedding? And now here she is, fleeing her own. Victoria's whole story is bookended by weddings she won't pretend to be happy at. She is fundamentally a person who will not fake a celebration she doesn't feel. She will not settle. Hold on to that because it's about to become the most important thing about her. So Ted and Victoria get their second chance. The real one. And it's going well. And then Victoria says the thing that ends it. She tells Ted she can't be with him as long as Robin is in his life.
There is a reason that it didn't work out between you and me. But it's not Germany. And I'm willing to bet it's the same reason none of your other relationships in the last 6 years have lasted either. It's Robin.
No.
Yes.
You've got it all wrong.
I'm right about this. Goodbye, Ted.
Now, a lot of fans hate her for this. They call it controlling, an ultimatum, unfair, but I want you to actually listen to what she's saying because Victoria is not being jealous. She's being a diagnostician. She looks at Ted, this man she's loved twice now, and she sees the truth that Ted has spent his entire life refusing to see. She tells him essentially, you keep a woman you're in love with parked in your life, calling her your friend, and you will never fully give yourself to anyone else as long as she's there. You're keeping the ghost on standby. And she's right. We have 8 more seasons of proof that she's right. Robin is the thing standing between Ted and every real relationship he ever has. Victoria saw it in Season 7 and said it out loud. And Ted chooses Robin. Not romantically. He chooses to keep her in his life, to keep the door open, to keep the ghost on the shelf. And so Victoria does the only thing a person with that much self-respect can do. She leaves. And this is the moment everyone misreads, because the show frames it as Ted losing Victoria, another one that got away. Poor Ted. But that's the narration talking, that's Ted's self-pitying version. Look at what actually happened from her side, and the entire story flips. Here's the truth the show buries under Ted's narration. Victoria didn't get away. Victoria escaped. We've been calling her the one Ted lost this whole time. But Victoria was never lost. She was the only person in Ted's entire romantic life who saw him clearly, told him the truth, and then chose herself when he refused to listen. She didn't slip through his fingers. She looked at exactly who Ted was, a man who would always keep the ghost. And she walked away on purpose. With her eyes open. Think back to the pattern. She hid from a stranger's wedding because she wouldn't fake belonging. She ran from her own wedding because she wouldn't marry the wrong man. And she left Ted because she wouldn't spend her life competing with a woman who would never actually leave. 3 times Victoria was offered a version of good enough, and 3 times she refused it. That's not a woman who lost. That's the single healthiest person in the entire show. While everyone else in Ted's orbit settles, schemes, pines, and clings, Victoria just keeps quietly refusing to live a lie. She is the one character who consistently chooses her own truth over the comfortable, expected thing. And the saddest part isn't that Ted lost her. It's that Ted had, sitting right in front of him twice, a living example of exactly the kind of courage he lacked. Victoria could walk away from the wrong life. Ted couldn't even walk away from a ghost. She showed him how to choose, and he watched her do it, and he still couldn't. And here's the detail that completes it. The thing that makes Victoria's story quietly perfect. Remember what she does for a living. She builds. She makes something real and warm and sweet with her own hands every single day. That was always who she was. Someone who creates real things in the real world. And Ted? Ted spends 9 years chasing something that doesn't exist. An idea. A fantasy of Robin. A fantasy of fate. A fantasy of the perfect signs lining up. He chases the ghost while the builder walks away to go build a real life somewhere he was finally willing to show up for. Victoria went back to making something real. Ted went back to chasing a ghost. That's the whole tragedy of the one he threw away. Not that Ted lost a great woman, though he did. It's that Victoria was holding up a mirror the entire time, showing Ted exactly who he could have been if he were brave enough to want the real thing instead of this perfect idea of it. And he looked into that mirror twice and turned away. So no, Ted's biggest mistake was never Robin. Robin was just the ghost he couldn't put down. The real mistake was the woman who offered him something true and told him the truth, and showed him what choosing your own life actually looks like. Victoria wasn't the one that got away, she was the one who got free. And here's why this one stays with me, because almost everyone has a Victoria. The real, good, present thing you didn't fully see because you were busy idealizing something that wasn't there. The person who was actually available while you chased a ghost across town. So if there's someone in your life right now who keeps choosing you fully without games, don't do what Ted did. Don't keep them on standby while you stare at a fantasy. The grass isn't greener somewhere else. It's just further away, where it never has to prove itself real. Tell me down in the comments, was Victoria the one Ted should have fought for? I read every single one, and if you want more of this, the truth hiding under the love story, pull up a seat under the yellow umbrella and subscribe. Ted, Barney, Robin, Marshall, Lily, and the mother are all up already, and there's still so much of this story left to decode. I'm decoding How I Met Your Mother, one character at a time. I'll see you in the next one.